Hi! In this video, we'll be talking about namespaces. So let's revisit the animal class. The animal class has a kingdom, a food description, and a couple methods, a constructor, an init method, and a greeting method. Now what happens if outside of the animal class, we try to print kingdom? What's going to happen there? Well, Python will actually throw an error here, which is interesting because kingdom should exist, right? It's right up there on line 2. But the reason it doesn't exist is because kingdom is not in the global namespace. It's only in the animal namespace. So in order to print kingdom, we have to hop inside the animal namespace and print animal.kingdom. So this is one example of a tricky Python error you might run into, and it all has to do with namespaces. So functions have their own namespaces, classes have their own namespaces, and even objects have their own namespaces. So let's see some examples of how these namespaces work out in code. We have class A and class B. Now, in this scenario, we have a global variable in the global namespace equal to 10. Inside the class A, we have a class variable x that's equal to 20. Inside the class B, we have a class variable y that's equal to 30. And when we print out global variable, it's printing out that global var value 10. When we're printing out a.x, we are hopping into A's namespace and printing out the value of x within A's namespace, and that value is 20. When we print b.y, we're hopping into B's namespace and printing out the y that exists within B, and that prints out 30. Now, if we were to try something like this wouldn't work. We can't print x in the global namespace because x doesn't exist in the global namespace. It only exists within A's namespace. So to get at it, we just need to precede it with a dot. A.x will hop us into A's namespace, and we can find x. Now notice we can't print b.x because there is no x inside of B's namespace, unless B inherits from A. Now B is able to find x because it inherits from A. And we'll cover more on inheritance namespaces in a second, but first let's talk about the object namespace. So just like functions, just like classes, objects have their own very own namespaces as well. They have a collection of variable names that exist just on the object. So in this program, we actually have 3 different x's. So if we go to print out x here, what's going to happen? Well, this x is actually referring to the global x, so it'll print out 10. What if we print out a.x? What's that going to find? Well, we're hopping into A's namespace and grabbing the x within A's namespace. So that will print out 20. What about a.object.x? Well, in this scenario, we're hopping into the a.object's namespace. And inside the object, x is equal to 30. So this will print out 30. Now what happens if we introduce a new variable y on the class level that is equal to high? If we print out a.y, that will give us the y inside the class's namespace, which is high. Now what if we do a.object.y? Now this also ends up printing high, and the reason for this is that the object is able to find names inside the class level namespace. So if y doesn't exist on the object, it'll hop up a level, hop up a namespace, and find it in the class. Let's review this in a little more detail. An object's namespace is independent from the class's namespace, but it's still able to look inside the class if it doesn't know what a certain name means. So in the x example, if we print out a.object.x, well, x exists on the a.object, so it'll just print out 30. What about a.object.y? Well, since there is no y that exists inside the a.object's namespace, it'll look, not be able to find it, and then hop up a namespace to the class level. And since y does exist on the class level, it'll print out that y. Now lastly, let's cover subclass inheritance namespace. So remember, a subclass is when a class inherits from a separate class. We saw this with the animal and cheetah classes. If cheetah inherits from animal, then cheetah is inheriting a lot of the names and functions defined inside animal. And we say that cheetah is the subclass and animal is the superclass. Now, in this scenario, we have the animal class, and it has the name kingdom and the name food description. And then we have the subclass cheetah, which has its own food description and a new name, speed. Now what happens if we print out animal.kingdom? Well, it'll look inside the animal's namespace and find the kingdom value, which is Animalia, and print out Animalia. What if we print out cheetah.kingdom? Well, since kingdom doesn't exist inside cheetah's namespace, it'll hop up a level to the superclass to find the kingdom, which is Animalia. Now what if we print out cheetah.speed? Well, it finds speed inside cheetah's namespace and prints out speed. This doesn't work the other direction. If we print out animal.speed, it can't go down a level. It can only go up. So the superclass cannot find names in the subclass. This will result in an error. Now what if we have objects of these classes? If we have an animal object A and a cheetah object C, there's different names that exist inside each of these objects. So here we have a animal with the name animal and a cheetah C with the name Speedy. If we print out c.name, it immediately finds it on the C object and prints out Speedy. If we try to print out c.speed, well, speed doesn't exist at the object level, but it does exist at the class level. So it'll hop up to the class cheetah and find the cheetah speed, which is 75. Now what if we print out c.kingdom? Well, kingdom doesn't exist in the object namespace, so it hops up to the cheetah namespace. It doesn't exist inside cheetah's namespace either, so it hops up to the superclass animal and finds it there. And here it'll print out Animalia. Why do we even do this? Why do we have namespaces? Well, namespaces are great because they prevent naming conflicts. Two classes can use the same variable names and not have to worry about interfering with each other because the two classes have different namespaces. And let's dive in and see some namespaces in code. Now let's look at an example of class namespaces. So classes also have their own namespaces separate from the global namespace. So here we actually have three different x's. We have the x in the global namespace, the x in the class namespace, and the x on the object namespace, self.x. We also have a class level y variable. So y is in the class namespace as well. So if we come down here, we're making an instance of the class C. And here we're actually going to print out three different values for x, the global x, the class x, and the object x. So if we run this, we see we get 10, 30, and 20. And that makes sense. The global x is 10, the class level x is 30, and the object level x is 20. Now we're going to print out some y variables. So my class's y is in fact equal to high. What about c.y? Well, there's no y that exists on the C object, but if we hop up a level to the class, we see that y does exist inside the class. So that's why it's still printing out high here. But if we get on here and set the c.y variable equal to by, this is creating a brand new y variable that exists on the C object. So y now exists on the object namespace as well as the class namespace. So if we print out y on the class level and y on the object level, that'll give us two different values, high and then by.